Hello and welcome. I'm Rehan. I'm an IELTS trainer, and today's topic is how to improve part 2 of the IELTS speaking exam. In today's lesson, we are going to give you some tips, and with the help of these tips, you can improve your speaking in a very short time. So, let's start. IELTS speaking part 2 is a cue card regarding any kind of topic in which a student has to speak for 2 minutes, and what the examiner is checking when you are speaking, he is checking your fluency and coherence, how you connect your ideas. He is checking your lexical resource, means he is checking your vocabulary also, high level vocabulary. He is checking your grammatical range and accuracy, what kind of sentences you are producing while making your speech. Are you using complex sentences or you are using simple sentences? And the last one, he is checking your pronunciation. So what we have to do, tip number 1 is utilize 1 minute time wisely in the beginning to make notes. Before you have to speak for 2 minutes, the examiner gives you 1 minute to think on a particular topic, and in that time you can make notes in your mind and you can start speaking after 1 minute. So what we have to do, we have to utilize this 1 minute very wisely. We can use different techniques to utilize this 1 minute, and I will discuss later in the lecture. Tip number 2 is understand the question, whether it's in the past, present tense or the future tense. So you have to look at the question and you have to understand the question, whether it's in the past tense or it's discussing present tense or it's in the future tense. So most of the time you will be inclined towards the tense which the question is demanding you. On the other hand, you can also use present tense and the future tense if the question is regarding past tense. Tip number 3 is for story type questions, because I told you that you might be confronted with a story type question. In that story type question, you can also make a story. It can be a false story because the examiner is not checking your knowledge of the topic. He's just checking your English. So you can make any story. It might be a false story, but it has some kind of logic in it. It might have a certain beginning, and in the story there might be a suspense also, because without suspense the story will not complete itself, and there might be a proper ending for the story. So this will be the very effective way to answer that type of question. Tip number 4 is you can use WH formula. And what is the WH formula? While seeing the question, you can use these words: which, when, where, why, what, how often, and you can develop the story or you can develop the topic around these words in your mind, and you can start speaking on a particular topic. You can use this technique if the topic is not known to you or if the topic is unfamiliar. Tip number 5 is don't learn memorize answer, as the examiners are expert to spot memorize answers. You have to explain the question in a way which is easy for you. For example, if the examiner gives you a cue card regarding garden, so it's better to explain the garden which you are familiar with and which you visit on daily basis. So explain the things which you are familiar with and you come across on daily basis. You can add high level vocabulary while speaking on that topic, and this is another tip with the help of which you can improve your part 2 of the IELTS speaking. Tip number 6 is you can use mind mapping technique to connect ideas in the question, and you can understand it with the example below. This is the very useful technique to answer IELTS speaking part 2 question. The question here we are going to discuss is describe a journey that you went on. This is a past tense question, so here lot of your discussion will be in the past tense. You also give reference of present tense and the future tense, but most of the time you will speak on in the past. The question is having a bullet points. You should say, it means that you don't need to say about every bullet point. As in the question there are 4 bullet points: when it was, where you went, who you were with, and what were your feelings about the journey. So it's not mandatory to speak on these bullet points. You can delete the bullet points which you are not convenient to talk about. You can add different ideas while staying within the topic. So in this cue card, what you will do, you will discuss your journey, and journey might be through a train, through a bus, through a car. But if you choose the train to elaborate your journey experience, first of all you will think in your mind that why you prefer to travel by train. You can say that you can gaze out of the window while traveling through the train, and you can further elaborate this sentence. You can also say that I prefer train journey because it's the safest and fastest way to travel. So this is the second idea. You can elaborate it further. Second thing is when it was. You can say that you were going on a wedding, or you can also say you were going to see a tourist attraction, you were going on a vacation or on a holiday. You can also elaborate this like that. But here we are discussing that we are going on a wedding and we are using train to reach there. And where you are going, you can say that it was the wedding of my friend, I was with my family, or you can also say I was with my friends, and it was in a far off place, and this far off place might be a countryside. A countryside is basically a rural area where you can go for a journey, and it's a very far away from the city center. In the last you can elaborate that what were you feeling about the journey. And while explaining this bullet point, you can say that it was very much convenient to travel by train because we were in a sleeping parlor. It was very convenient for me to have a sound sleep over there. And also in this kind of travel you can have the freedom to do anything. You can listen to the music, you can read some books, while in other type of traveling it's a bit difficult to do these. You were feeling very amazing while reading a book and while gazing out of the windows and while watching the scenery, natural beauty of that location. You can also say that we can observe the geographical location of any area, while on the other hand it's not possible to observe geographical area. You can say that journey through a train is also a great feeling for me because its movement make it very much enjoyable for me to enjoy that journey, and I was feeling very fresh and energetic. If I have a chance in the future, I would like to travel again through train, and In this way, what you are doing, you are using the future tense. So this is the complete method to talk on a particular topic with the help of mind mapping. Tip number 7 is you can add 2 to 3 sentences for every bullet point, and for the last bullet point you can add 3 to 4 sentences, because you have to explain the last bullet point in detail. Tip number 8 is use different collocations, advanced grammar structure, coherent ideas, and clear pronunciation. So what you have to do, you have to look around at least 4 to 5 high level vocabulary words, and you have to remember these words in order to perform for band 7 or above in your IELTS speaking. You have to use advanced grammar structure. Most of your sentences should be connected with the help of connectors or linkers, and this will make your sentences advanced. Your ideas must be coherent, and there must be a logical connection between your ideas. Number 9 is talk while keeping in view all the 4 criterias as per speaking band descriptors, and I already discussed that what are these 4 criterias. The last tip is try to close your speech in 100 seconds, and for practicing that you can watch our video 100 second formula. This will be a magical formula for you to improve your speaking, and with the help of this you can close your speech in 100 seconds. If you have finished your topic before time, this definitely will help you to score band 7 or above in your IELTS speaking. Thanks for joining today's class. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, English with Rehan, Anchor.fm.